What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another SD Gundam Battle Alliance video. In this video I wanted to go over some tips that I've come up with that I think would be useful for people that are newer to the game. The game isn't overly complex, but little changes in your setup or the way you play can make a big difference. Let's start off with the most simple one of all: do the tutorials. I know, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but the tutorials in this game are actually super useful. They teach you about mechanics like roll action and chain breaker, which are hard to figure out on your own, and your first clear of each one gives you an item you can exchange for 500 capital. Next up is auto guard. I cannot stress this enough: use auto guard. It's literally the first part you get. The game gives it to you for free for all three classes. Yes, there are a ton of other parts that provide a bunch of different benefits, from damage to health to boost, but trust me when I say that auto guard has saved me more times than I can count. You can add additional parts once you start uncapping your suits. Which brings me to my next point: don't be stingy with your uncapped materials. If you've tried out a suit and you like it and you think you're going to keep using it, just go ahead and uncap it. As soon as you get to Directory 3, uncapped materials start dropping from chests and enemy aces and bosses, so you'll have more than enough to uncap a few key suits that you enjoy. Each time you uncap a suit, you increase its max level and get an extra part slot up to a maximum of 4, so uncapping a suit once will at least let you slap on one extra part in addition to auto guard. Speaking of parts, make sure you're selling the parts you don't need. Parts are shared among all your suits, so you can use the same ones for multiple suits if you want. So once you start earning 2-star parts with better stats, you should have no issue selling your 1-star parts for capital. Or, for example, if you have two all-rounder parts that both boost melee and one is plus 50 and the other is plus 40, there's no reason to keep the lower one. Selling these extra parts for a little bit of capital at a time can really add up. As you progress in the game, you're going to need as much capital as possible, because every time you unlock a new suit, you need to use capital to bring it up to the level of whatever mission you want to play next. So the next logical question is, how else can you maximize your capital? And the answer to that question is spam your special attack. Anytime you hit an enemy with a special attack, that enemy will drop extra capital. The special doesn't even have to kill the enemy, it just has to damage it, and then when they're defeated, they'll drop the extra capital. You can tell the difference because the capital that drops from these enemies is red rather than the usual orange. This is even easier to pull off with range specials, since you can rapidly switch targets to damage as many enemies as possible. I know you may be tempted to save your special for a boss or an ace, but trust me, you'll get it back faster than you think, so don't be afraid to use it. Okay, so the next thing I want to go over is my recommendations for pilot skills. Speedster is the first one you unlock, and it's a pretty solid choice even later in the game if you want to keep your combos going longer, because every action that you do consumes boost. Mechanic is also a good option if you want to make sure you can quickly heal in a pinch. One of the main ones that I pretty much always run is Unwavering Devotion, which prevents you from staggering while reviving a partner. It doesn't help against knockdowns, stuns, or grabs, but at the very least it increases your chance of getting the res without being interrupted. But the one skill that I haven't taken off since I got it is Air Rider, which increases your aerial attack damage. To be clear, aerial attack damage refers to combos used while in the air. This includes sub-weapon hits that are followed to melee hits, but if you just jump up and use your sub-weapons, they won't receive the damage increase. You can even get the damage increase on some melee special attacks if you can successfully air combo into them. As for the actual increase itself, I did some testing in free tutorial and wasn't able to get a consistent number. My numbers ranged anywhere from 68% to 85% more damage depending on the suit and the attack. However, even a 68% damage increase is massive and makes this skill worth using in my opinion. When you unlock your third skill slot, you can kind of just throw whatever you want in there. When I'm playing solo, I run Charmer to increase my friendship with my partners. If you know you're going to be fighting a boss with an anti-beam shield, you can run Piercer to break it easier. Your choice will depend on the situation and your playstyle. My next tip is to make sure that you take your time to explore the map when you're in a mission. Not only can you find chests that give capital and uncapped materials, but this will help you collect more blueprints in the long run. For example, in Break Mission 4B, Sakura and Yuno explain to you that there are two possible paths that you can take through a Bawaku. If you choose the right path, Mika breaks in as an ally and you can earn Lupus blueprints, and if you choose the left path, Camille breaks in and you can earn Zeta blueprints. Another example is Break Mission 5A, where there are 4 break-in aces before the boss in different areas of the map. So if you only take a straight path to the boss, you'll probably only fight 1 or 2 of them, but if you take your time and find all of them, you can earn more blueprints. And my final tip, which kind of relates to the last one, is how chaos missions work. I don't know if this qualifies as a beginner tip, but I thought it was important to cover because these missions reward a lot of the highly sought after suits. Chaos missions unlock at Directory 5 and are essentially true missions with an extra ace or enemies that have broken in somewhere. These missions are listed as much higher level than their true mission counterparts, but this is kinda deceiving. The majority of the mission is the same level as its true mission, and the only thing that's at the high level listed on the chaos mission is whatever enemy or enemies have broken in. So it's up to you to explore the map and find the break-in order to fight that enemy and get the blueprints that drop from them. If you just run the mission like normal, you'll completely miss it, so make sure you're checking alternate paths, opening doors, all that good stuff. Those are my top 8 tips to help enhance your Battle Alliance experience. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or if you have your own tips for other players, feel free to leave those as well. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a positive rating, and I will catch you guys in the next one.